Hey everyone, this is Badass Reviewer, and today we'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Vision. This is the more modern rendition. I'm pretty sure this is what he currently looks like in the comics. So we're getting got a new Vision, which is pretty nice. He's on the Bucky Cop mold. It's been a really long time since we've had a Vision figure. The last one being from probably the very first series of Marvel Legends, I believe, by Hasbro, which didn't turn out as good, and definitely wasn't as good as the ToyBiz version, but this one is definitely a huge step up compared to that one, and I'd almost have to say that it's a little bit better than the original ToyBiz version. However, you can't really beat the original because I think the classic Vision is the best looking one. This is the ToyBiz version here. While I do like this ToyBiz version a lot, it's just a really old figure now, and compared to all the other ones, you know, I think it might be time to maybe swap them out. I do like them though. The problem is it's just so old that it's kind of time to maybe replace it, so it kind of sucks, but you know, it's time we got a new Vision, and it makes sense to have it be more of a modern looking version, I guess. But I mean, he still retains some of his classic look, and this look is actually pretty cool. I really like the nice green metallic detail that they put on him for the light, for most of the green here, and then they used a more, I'm not good with my colors or greens, but I'm gonna say that's a little bit darker of a green, and it's also very nicely metallic. It's got some of that glitter going on, if you can see that, so that's pretty nice. I really like the way that looks. The way he looks in general is pretty nice. I like the paintwork on him. The lines did come out pretty clean. There's no real issues in terms of that. The colors are pretty cool, and he's a pretty cool figure overall. The yellow here, it's a little bit sloppy, and it doesn't quite match up here. It looks like it didn't go down as far as this side did, but it still looks pretty nice. The head sculpt, I really like it a lot. It looks just how you expect it to look for the Vision. The head is molded in that in green, the metallic-y green plastic, or the pearlescent green, however you want to say it, and then his face is just kind of painted over it, which I think looks pretty good for the most part. And then he's got the little yellow gem on his head, which it's kind of but not a big deal. It's kind of hard to paint something like that and have it look completely accurate. He does have the new cape that it looks like Hasbro is going to be using on a lot of their newer figures, which it looks kind of funky, but it works. I really thought this cape was going to suck, but luckily it doesn't, so they did a good job on that. It goes around the neck, and then it also pegs into the back very nicely, so no problems there. And as you can see on his back, they continue the paint on the back, which you probably won't see a whole lot, but good to know that they actually painted it on the back, which wouldn't make sense if they didn't anyways. But as you can see on the cape here, it's got the peg here, and then it's got this piece of plastic that kind of sticks out, which is used to keep it from being on his back, if that makes sense. It keeps his cape pushed out from his back, so it looks like it's flowing outward, and it's not just kind of like sucked up to his back like it is on this one, where it kind of just free floats. And while the capes are two separate materials on the figures, but I think it just gives it a more flowing look, and overall I think it looks pretty good, so I'm happy that turned out good, and it makes me feel a little bit more confident about the figures that are going to have it later on, such as Grim Reaper. So that's good. He has no accessories, unfortunately. It would have been nice to maybe get interchangeable hands or something. His hand here is, I'm pretty positive this is a reused Spider-Man hand, because if you look at this one here, it's almost the exact same pose. I know it's the wrong hand, but it almost looks like the exact same kind of Spider-Man open pizza hand, or whatever you want to call it. But I can't tell if it's 100% the same one. It looks like the peg here is cut off a little bit more than this one is. So I'm thinking it's a hand specifically for him, but it's kind of based on the Spider-Man mold. But either way, I think it's cool. I don't mind it. It kind of reminds me of the movie poster that he was in for the Age of Ultron. So yeah, I'm cool with it. I don't think he does anything with his hands, but it's still cool to, you know, pose him with his hand like that. And then the other hand is a fist, which I'm okay with. So that way he can punch people. But yeah, so pretty nice detail. If you guys are thinking about picking this guy up, I definitely would if you can. And you need him to have the Build-A-Figure piece if you're planning on building Ultron, my bad, the Hulkbuster. I'm thinking Ultron because he should have been in this wave or the wave before, but nope. Anyways, so yeah, I think it's a pretty decent looking figure, and probably one of my favorites out of the wave, just because it's a newer version of him, and it's a more updated body mold for the characters. So I really like it a lot. In terms of articulation, we all know how it's going to work. It's the bucket cap mold, so the head looks up a really good amount, so you can get him in a nice flying pose. And in addition to the cape being how it is, it kind of looks like he's in it has like that kind of flowing look to it, although it does kind of spread outward towards the bottom more, so it kind of looks funky, but it still looks good. So full range of motion in the head. The arms go in and out, rotate 360 degrees, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, rotation in the wrist, as well as a hinge. He's got an ab crunch, so he can go forward and back a little bit until the cape gets in the way. Rotates at the waist, lace and go forward and back, in and out. Rotates at the upper part of the thigh, bends at 2 points at the knee, rotates at the upper part of the ankle here, I think is what you want to call it. And then he's got a hinge in the foot as well as ankle pivots. So loads of articulation for this guy, which is really nice. So pretty much I think that this one is probably second best to the original ToyBiz, but I do like the body mold a little bit more on this one. It just seems more you know, realistic in body shape compared to this one, where he has the ball jointed shoulders and hips, whereas this one looks more fluent. So it's kind of a toss-up. I do like the original look of him, but I like this body mold a lot more, so maybe at some point we'll see a original Vision. But yeah, it's kind of up to you guys. Now that we have 3 of them, I definitely think this is the one to get now, since it's going to be cheaper anyways. But this one is pretty hard to beat considering it's a classic look, and I definitely like the classic look the most. But they're still both great figures, and I would definitely pick up this figure if you don't have Vision, or if you like the Vision and want to get the new costume for him. This is the one to pick up. So that's my review, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more figure reviews and other stuff like that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.